The first main benefit of fasting for 16 hours a day is the increased gut cleaning. Especially if you experience a lot of bloating, this is a really important benefit. With daily 16-hour fast, this allows enough time for your body to turn on the gut cleaning process called the migrating motor complex. This flushes out left behind food and bacteria that typically causes fermentation in the GI tract and leads to bloating. Where on the flip side, if you're eating all throughout the day or grazing and you're not incorporating any fast or any gaps between meals, this completely shuts off that gut cleaning process. Whereas daily fasting for 16 hours allows that migrating motor complex to turn on and allows gut cleaning to naturally happen. My name's Autumn and I'm a certified clinical nutritionist with my master's in nutrition human performance. And today's video is sponsored by a really great electrolyte replacement company called LMNT. And you'll see why in a bit electrolytes are so important. So more on LMNT in a bit. Now, the second main benefit of fasting for 16 hours a day is that it's less meal prep. This is something I hear all the time from my AM peeps and clients, is that they just don't even have to worry about prepping as many meals. Typically, if you're using intermittent fasting the right way, you're going to be having about 2 to 3 meals per day and 0 snacks. This is a huge contrast to having those 5 to 6 or even 7 or 8 meals per day. That's a lot more prep that you have to do if you're making all of those meals. So especially if you're short on time, this alone is a really great benefit. Okay, the third benefit of daily 16-hour fast is naturally allowing the storing hormone insulin to go down. This is really one of the main perks of intermittent fasting and something that's most often talked about. Insulin is our storing hormone, so when it's high, fat burning is turned off. And when it's low, fat burning is allowed to turn back on. This is probably why studies on intermittent fasting and weight loss typically find that intermittent fasting is really great at utilizing specifically fat and burning fat as fuel, which if you're looking to achieve a weight loss goal is exactly what you want. You don't want to be burning muscle, you want to be burning fat. And every time you eat, it causes the storing hormone insulin to be secreted. So when you're fasting and incorporating a daily fast, this allows those insulin levels to naturally dip back down during that fast. And this is where electrolytes are really important for sustained progress, because as insulin levels go down, the body tends to release a significant amount of water and electrolytes. So most people know that you should be getting water during your fast, but a lot of people aren't replacing their electrolytes too, and namely sodium. I know sodium's gotten a bad reputation for a long time, but it's really important for nerve transmission, for muscle contraction. It's literally used all throughout the body, and sodium is a main electrolyte. So when this is imbalanced, this can typically cause things like headaches or muscle aches. So that's why I really like today's sponsor, LMNT, because there's a lot of electrolyte companies out there, and most of them don't actually include sodium, which is crazy because that's the electrolyte that's lost in some of the greatest amounts. Now, you definitely can use something like Celtic sea salt, which is a really great option too, but I have had a lot of clients who don't use the sea salt because it can be more difficult to dissolve into water, which means that you get that one like really last salty sip at the bottom of your water. Now, LMNT has different flavors and it dissolves really well into water, but especially if you are more sensitive to stevia, they also have an unflavored option, which I'm a really big fan of, where it's literally just the electrolytes itself, which is also pretty hard to find on the market. Not only does it contain sodium, it also contains potassium and magnesium. So if you want to test them out to make sure that you're getting your electrolytes while incorporating fasting, LMNT is offering 7 packets of their electrolyte replacement for literally just the cost of shipping. So you can test those out with the link in the description down below. Okay, the fourth benefit of fasting for 16 hours is less hunger, which seems counterintuitive, but a review on the research of intermittent fasting and weight loss found that hunger levels tend to stay the same while fasting or even decrease. And that review had participants fasting for around 16 hours on average. Okay, the fifth benefit is that you just have more time. We already talked about how you have so much more time from not having to meal prep, but you also don't have to dedicate as much time to thinking about food and eating food, especially because you're likely not going to be as hungry. So it's a lot more brain space dedicated to literally anything else in life. Okay, the sixth benefit is boosted muscle protection. High insulin levels, which remember occurs especially if you're eating frequently throughout the day, can actually hinder the body's production of growth hormone, which is a really important muscle protecting hormone. With fasting, insulin levels are naturally going to dip back down, which can help to optimize for that growth hormone. Okay, the seventh benefit is increased fat burning mechanisms. This ties back to that third benefit of those naturally lower insulin levels, because when insulin levels are lower, this allows the fat burning process of lipolysis to actually be turned back on. This is why I usually recommend to my AM peeps and clients to get some type of body fat scan if you are using intermittent fasting, so that you can actually see the effects that it's having on your body fat percentage and not just the overall scale, which really doesn't tell you much of what's happening at the body fat level. Now, if weight loss is your goal and you're wondering how long it takes to lose 20 pounds, you can check out this video next. Also, if you're new to my channel and you love the science-backed information, make sure you subscribe right here. Come out with new videos every Tuesday and Thursday. All right, guys, thanks so much for tuning in, and I'll see you in my next video.